Let's see. I am going to share my screen. Good morning, students. The University of Alabama will be presenting today. Just a few housekeeping tips, how to answer questions. You're going to have to put them in the Q&A little box there, and your presenters will answer the questions. If they don't get to all of them, they will answer the questions and they'll be available for you through the website. This video will be available about 3 days after it ends. We're going to mute your camera and your microphones, so everything has to go through that chat box. Good luck. Enjoy the day.
All right, good morning, everyone. Today we are going to be talking to you a little bit about the University of Alabama, what we have to offer, and kind of our admissions process, important dates and deadlines, and things like that for you as a transfer student. So first, we'll go ahead and get started by introducing all of ourselves. So I will start. My name is Chelsea Marsh. I'm the regional recruiter for South Carolina. I cover almost all of South Carolina with the exception of the greater Charleston and Hilton Head areas.
And I'm Russell Moore. I am the regional representative who covers the Charleston and Hilton Head areas, and I'm based in Jacksonville, Florida.
I am Rachel Hopewell, and I cover Eastern North Carolina. I'm based in the Triangle area, and I work with students from Alamance County to the coast.
And hi guys, my name is Taylor Florio. I am the other half of North Carolina. I cover Western North Carolina, which is essentially Guilford County to the mountains, and I'm located in Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right, and just as a quick reminder, if y'all do have any questions, just go ahead and type them in the chat box and we'll try to answer those as the presentation goes on. We'll also leave some time at the end for questions as well, so make sure you submit those questions to us. So at the University of Alabama, we're a pretty large institution. You can see here kind of some of our numbers. We have almost 32,000 undergraduate students and about 38,000 with graduate students included. So we're a pretty large institution, but for being a large public institution, we have more than half of our students coming from out of state. So I think that's pretty unique. You're not going to find a lot of other large public institutions that have such a high out-of-state enrollment. So you're going to see students that are coming from California, Texas, New York, Hawaii, lots of students from the Carolinas every year. So you're going to meet students from all over the place when you choose to come to University of Alabama. Also, for being such a large school, you can see our student to faculty ratio is pretty impressive at 24:1. And here you can also see some of the top states that our students are coming from. But again, you're going to meet students from all over the country. And another perk of being such a large institution is that we have big school opportunities. So that means lots of majors to choose from. So when you're coming to the University of Alabama, this might seem kind of overwhelming looking at all of these different options, but we definitely give you some flexibility to explore around, figure out what you like, what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're not so good at maybe. So lots of options for you to choose from. You can see we've got everything from the arts and sciences. We've got theater, music, dance, all of the ology programs, so biology, sociology, psychology. If you're interested in going to medical school or some sort of professional school, we've got all of those pre-professional programs that'll help get you there. We've also got our business school, and our engineering school is pretty large and popular at the university. But again, just a little bit of everything: education, communications, nursing, you name it, we probably have something for you at the University of Alabama.
All right, thank you, Chelsea. Besides all of the great universities besides all the great university resources that are offered and the tremendous opportunities at UA, another big attracting factor for transfer students like you is the accessibility of a university with national recognition. At this time, the university requires a 2.0 overall GPA for transfer students. If you have 24 or more semester hours, this is of non-remedial credit, then we will not need a high school transcript. But we will require a high school transcript and are still requiring SAT or ACT scores at this time so that we can review all coursework if you are not yet a sophomore, if you have fewer than 24 semester hours. And the application process itself is very simple and straightforward. This is something else that takes some of the stress and anxiety out of the transfer process, and that students that I work with really respond positively to. Our application is only available on the University of Alabama website. We're not a member of the Common App, and you could just go to apply.ua.edu to access it. There is a $40 application fee as well, and you'll just want to have all of your official transcripts submitted from all colleges that you've attended. And again, if you have fewer than 24 credit hours earned at other colleges, then you'll submit that high school transcript and an SAT or ACT score. Once we receive all the items necessary to make an admission decision, that will probably be done within about 3 weeks or so. And when transfer students ask me when I should apply, we do allow students to apply as early as up to 2 years before they would enter the university. And I do work with some students every year who have a goal of entering as a junior, for example. And so you can begin that application process early, just so that we can stay in touch with you and make sure that you're progressing and taking the proper courses to prepare for your major and for a smooth entry. March 1st is the summer and fall application deadline for students. Students who are applying now for January term, it is going to be a bit of a crunch, so you might want to get in touch with one of us if we're your regional recruiter, and if you have concerns about getting documents in on time. But March 1st for fall and summer entry, it would be a good idea to get your documents in at least a few weeks before that, so that we can let you know if there's anything else that we require to see how else we can help you. All right, so there's several things that are important for transfer students that differ a little bit for our freshman applicants that I want to go over. If you took any dual enrollment credit and after high school graduation, you've been building up those credits from another college, we do have transfer course equivalency tables that are available for you to view. And if you go to the university's homepage, ua.edu, and simply type transfer credit in the search box, the second website that pulls up from the results will take you directly to that website where you can search by state and then by individual colleges and universities within South Carolina or North Carolina, for example. And it's what we have are a number of databases that continue to grow as students submit courses that we have not previously seen that are accepted into the university. As long as you're taking general core requirements and even a number of other electives, you'll probably see those courses very likely transfer into the university. And these databases even include the course name and number for the Alabama course that it transfers as. The STARS guide is more for in-state residents, for Alabama residents who are applying to UA from another state college or community college. So chances are you won't have to be concerned with that. But the registrar's office maintains the database of transferable credits. It's also important because the college you're attending right now could cost the cost differential could be a great deal different from what you would be dealing with the University of Alabama. And if you're applying and living in South Carolina or North Carolina right now, you're going to most likely be classified as an out-of-state student for tuition purposes. So if you go to the student accounts website listed here, or again on the university website, type cost of attendance into the search engine, then you'll see a list of different cost items like tuition, books, and meal plan if you opt to do that, but also housing. Some transfer students look at on-campus housing, although most will look at living in an apartment or some other private living arrangement. I'd really encourage you, because making that transition as a transfer student can be difficult if you don't reach out to people in our student affairs office, first year experience, career center. We have a number of different options and offices that fall under the Vice President for Student Life, where you can immediately get plugged in and get answers to questions to help orient you around campus. They may also help introduce you to other students as well, who can help facilitate that process. Especially if any of you have GI Bill experience, GI Bill benefits, or other military service related resources that you need access to, then our Veteran and Military Affairs Office will be a big help. And please check out the SOARS, which is where we have our more than 650 student organizations listed, so that you can get involved in at least one or two organizations right away and start to really have a stake in what's going on at the university.
Right, and I'm going to talk a little bit about transfer scholarship opportunities at the university. And for us, we have two categories for these, and they are competitive. Both categories are for students who want to enter in the fall semester only. They also both are for students who are coming to us with 45 transferable semester hours. So most of the time, that's going to be students who've spent 2 years at their home institution or had a lot of dual enrollment credits as well. So those are some of the things that we'll look for. So it's fall entry only, 45 transferable semester hours. And then this slide is going to show you that we have two scholarship opportunities for students whose home institution is a 2-year institution. So most of the time, your community college institutions. And so the first one is the Capstone Transfer Scholarship. And that will actually cover the difference between the out-of-state tuition, and it'll bring it down to in-state tuition rates for you. And that will be for 2 years. And then we also have the Phi Theta Kappa Capstone Scholarship, which is $6,000 a year for 2 years as well. Now for these, again, you have to enter for fall semester. You have to come from a 2-year institution as your home institution, have 45 transferable semester hours, and you also have to have a 3.5 college GPA. And I will go over this, but that's not automatic. It is a competitive process, and there is a scholarship application to apply for those. And then on the next page, the next section of scholarships, these are for students coming from either a 2-year or a 4-year institution that you're currently at. Again, same sort of criteria. It's only for students wanting to enter in the fall semester. Again, 45 transferable semester hours and an overall college GPA of a 3.5. But these students are also eligible for the Roll Tide Transfer Scholarship, which is $6,000 a year for 2 years as well. And you can get more information on these scholarships on the link on that page, which is scholarships.ua.edu/transfer. And then on the next slide, I'll talk a little bit about the process for applying. So again, you have to meet the criteria, but then you also still have to apply. And so for these scholarships, the deadline is March 1st, and you need to submit a completed admissions application. And so that's our application fee and all required transcripts. But you also have to submit a scholarship application all by March 1st to be considered for the transfer scholarships. That scholarship application will be available to you once you've submitted your transfer application. Once you submit your transfer application to the University of Alabama, you will get an email from us with your MyBama account information, and that's where you're going to find the scholarship application. And you can go ahead and get started working on it. I know Russell mentioned the Bama FastPass program, where you can even apply to Alabama 2 years before the term that you want to enroll as a transfer student. One just piece of advice with the scholarship piece, if you do the Bama FastPass program and you apply now, but maybe don't want to come to us for 2 more years, I would really wait until maybe January 1st of the year you plan to enroll to go ahead and fill out that scholarship application. That way you're able to give us a more complete picture of what you've done at your 2-year institution and add those spring semester items as well. And again, you can find all of this information on the transfer scholarship website that's on this page. Now I'll turn it over to Taylor. She's going to talk a little bit about Tuscaloosa.
Thank you, Rachel. All right, so now that we've gone through kind of the processes and information on academics, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the town that we're in, the culture of who lives there, and kind of the opportunities that you guys get to see to visit, and as it relates to you, whether you're thinking about transferring or you're already determined on transferring, or maybe you've started out at a school and you're thinking about something, you know, further down the road. But Tuscaloosa is, I wouldn't consider it a city, but it's a big town. We have Walmarts and Targets and Chipotle and Starbucks and movie theaters. And it's very much a college town. There essentially is a buzz that happens when school starts in August, and it kind of slows down a little bit in May when students move off campus. But the town in general really does bleed, you know, crimson. It is a tight-knit family with a lot of local businesses. Luckily, campus is housed in very easy access to downtown Tuscaloosa. So a lot of times students find themselves walking, you know, down University Boulevard, which is what we call the Strip, into downtown. And that's where they will either get maybe part-time jobs, maybe they'll go grab a meal with friends, or maybe they'll just run, you know, the Greenway along the Warrior River. So there's a lot of opportunities in Tuscaloosa. And just speaking from the Carolinas, I know that we are so used to having both the mountains and the beach in quick access to where we're located. And the same offerings are available in the state of Alabama. So if you're worried about maybe not having those two things, know that there are water sports and mountains available for you in the state of Alabama. And just to give you an idea of where we are proximity-wise, this is a map that shows you exactly where Tuscaloosa is located. We recommend if you fly that you fly into Birmingham, and then it is just a very quick 45-minute drive down the highway to Tuscaloosa. And if you were to drive, obviously it would depend on where you're located in the Carolinas, but it's usually about a road trip. So you might need breakfast and lunch on the road, but you can definitely get there by dinner in most places. We highly recommend coming to see us. We are currently open for visits right now. As of right now, that website at the very top of the page has active campus tours all the way through December 11th. So if you are curious about what the University of Alabama looks like, and if you haven't toured it already, maybe you toured it back in high school, but you need a refresher on what kind of it feels like to physically be there, we would love for you to come visit. The tour times are filling up quicker than normal. And that's just strictly because of the amount of people that we're only allowed to have just due to the coronavirus rules and restrictions. But if you get on that website, you'll see a calendar, and any date that has available tours will be bright green. And so you can click on that date and find a time or date that works best for you. If for some reason you are making your way to Tuscaloosa and you have something else in mind that you'd like to learn, maybe you're pursuing a degree in business, or maybe you are interested in joining Greek life, there are opportunities for us as your recruiters to set you up with what we call an in-depth visit. And so if there is something that you're really curious about learning, please reach out to us and let us know. The earlier the better. We love giving ourselves a decent amount of notice in regards to those in-depth visits, but we would love to set you up with something a little bit more tailored to what it is you are interested in experiencing at the University of Alabama. And in addition to physical on-campus tours, we are offering a lot of virtual sessions. And there's a lot of virtual things happening right now, but if there is an opportunity for you to learn about something related to Alabama, the virtual offerings are the best, easiest, free way to do that. And so the same link up at the top will take you to not only our on-campus visits, but our virtual visits as well. And what's great about these is that they're different than what we're giving you right now. This is a general overview of admissions. However, our College of Business, College of Engineering, the Honors College, Greek Life, Student Chats, there's so many different variety of virtual offerings that you could literally sit and listen to in the comfort of your own home without even having to get to Tuscaloosa. So we highly recommend those as a way to learn and do a little bit more research while you're wrapping your head around what steps you need to take to pursue the University of Alabama. And then last but not least on this slide, I want to point out that QR code. If you're watching this and you have a cell phone handy, just hold your camera up to that QR code and it'll bring you right to a link that sends you to our YouTube page where it shows you a virtual campus tour. Now this tour is different in the sense that it takes you places that you don't get to see on a normal campus tour. You get to go inside the football stadium on game day. You get to go inside a resident hall and inside the dining halls and all these different places that really give you a more detailed view of what it's like to be a student at Alabama. So we very much recommend taking advantage of those options. And we do hope to see you hopefully soon on campus. That's all that we have for right now. I'm going to reintroduce the chat feature, well, the question and answer feature. If you guys have any questions for us at this time, we're going to kind of sit back, let those roll in, and thank you so much for listening.
All right, you guys are done?
All right, yeah, I was just gonna say, it doesn't look like we have any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for us. Our information is on the screen, so please let us know how we can help. You've got our email, our cell phone, and you can also find us on the UA website. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to our StriveScan moderator to close us out.
Okay. All right. Let's see, I am going to share this one more time for the students. Thank you guys for joining us. You will get a quick survey. Sign up for more sessions if you can. The recording will be available in about 2 or 3 days. Hope you guys enjoyed your day. Bye. That is it.